Otherside Picnic Volume 1 Review. Otherside Picnic is an episodic horror thriller story, originally penned as a light novel by Yori Misawa in 2017 before being adapted into this manga by Eita Mizuno, and most recently an anime series produced by Elite Films and Felix Film. The story follows two young women who each, for very different reasons, find themselves in the strange world called the Otherside. Our main protagonist, Sorawo Kamikoshi, is a 20-year-old student and urban explorer who has been interested in the cold and ends up discovering the other side by accident while exploring an abandoned building, opening a door to find herself in a world that is very much not Tokyo, with a vast marshland sprawling out beyond. But she initially uses the other side from a bit of escapism. Sorabo underestimates how dangerous this other world is and ends up being attacked by a strange alien-like creature she calls a wriggler, due to its snake-like wriggling appearance. While looking at this creature, Sorabo begins to lose her sanity and falls paralyzed into the bug. A blonde-haired young woman named Toriko Nishina stumbles upon the stricken Sawaro while looking for her friend Satsuki. In a cold research with whom she often journeyed to the other side, but who was similarly vanished without a trace. After rescuing Sawaro and killing the Wiggler, the two decided to team up to explore this other world and hopefully find the missing Satsuki. Having really enjoyed the anime adaptation of this series, I was eager to give it a go in manga form to see how the story fits into the different format, but a lot of the positives that I maybe enjoyed the anime adaptation are still here. I'm not sure if the manga is the best way to present it. The story itself is interesting. Anji is divided between two separate strands, the encounters with the strange monsters and the search for Satsuki. The former is what it spends most of its time and is where you get the most entertainment from it. It is a textbook ghost stories and brings them to life in unexpected ways. In this way, you have the Wrigglers, said to be a folk tale to warn against the dangers of snakes in the countryside, as well as the 8-foot tall lady who was said to spirit people away. The overall designs of the monsters are very weird. It is made abundantly clear that they pose a real threat to humans, as Sorawa and Toriko's lives are constantly in danger, keeping the intention high and very encounter. And what you think might be the way out, it isn't always the case, so it keeps you guessing what's going on and happen next. Outside these encounters and when it's dealing with the mystery around Satsuki, it doesn't hold up quite as well. There are a lot of things that need to set up and it's used the downtime between the encounters to overload you with expositions. While a little bit of explanation is welcome, here it tries too much to tell us what is going on, rather than showing it throughout the girl's adventures. Pair this with the constant narration from Sorabo, who appears to be telling us the story after the fact. It just becomes a bit slow to get going. I don't know for the anime, however, that it is a bit slow to get going, but it improves later, so I'm hoping that it's also the case here. I do quite like the characters shown in our main pair make for an interesting combination. Sorabo is quite plain and boyish, but is very outspoken and tries to act like a voice of reason. Andre is mostly just for being a bit of a coward. Toriko is the most adventurous and impulse in what that defines her very feminine in appearance by toting around guns and filling the role of an action hero at points. The chemistry between the two is good, which is necessary for the Yuri elements in here, neither of which are explicitly stated, but you can see the attraction between the pair through the words and actions. Even if it's unsighted at the moment, the world itself also has a lot of potential being a dark reflection of the real world, but the abandoned apocalyptic feel the code throughout literally anything. It also heavily influenced by the novel Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, which you can feel not just in the title but in the structure of the world itself and in the way the Wrigglers turn into mysterious artifacts that Toriko sells on to a friend. And researcher Kozakura, the armor generator looks good. Very the weird looking monster, with the as I mentioned earlier, with some good character designs and the compelling views of the other side. However, with the manga being in the black and white, it does struggle with some of the supernatural effects such as Sorabo's blue eyes and Toriko's invisible hand, which is immediately obvious. In this case, in particular, I give the point to the anime adaptation. There are some nice touches from time to time drawn. For example, the panel edges change shape with their pair of dealing with the monsters, become wiggly lines for the wigglers, and bubbles with the 8-foot tall lady. The series has been published by Square Enix and is available both digitally and as a physical paperback. The volume is translated by Taylor Yungel and reads well with no issues to note. There is a bonus short story at the end of the book that focuses on Kosakura and helps to build up her character a bit, which I thought it was a nice and funny decision. Overall, the first volume Otherside Picture represents the opening of a very interesting story. A person that is affected as it lies novel and anime counterparts, making it stay at a weird place that makes it difficult to recommend over the other two formats. It's so started a case with plenty of exposition need to build up, but both other in the world and otherwise, and it comes the best with tackling the dangerous creatures. But in having that area other world, if this is your chosen option, it's still a good read. But I personally opt for the anime or light novel over the manga. Rate the free preview at the publisher's website here. 7/10.